Welcome to the YouTube video on wrongly spelt words for bank exams, for the exams which is the IBPS exam as well as the SBI PO exam. So before we proceed any further, I request you to please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It is time for bank SSC, for all bank SSC and CGL examinations. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, time for bank SSC CGL. Now let's look at some of the kinds of questions that come under wrongly spelt words. In each question, for the next 15 questions, in each question a sentence with 4 words in bold type is given. One of the 4 words given in bold may be wrongly spelt. Emphasis on the word maybe. So the word may be wrongly spelt, or else nothing may be wrongly spelt, all words may be correct. That word is your answer. If all the words given in bold are correctly spelled, mark all are correct as your answer. So in these type of questions, you will be given a sentence with 4 words marked in bold. You have to see which of the words, if any, is wrongly spelled. If you find a wrongly spelled word, you have to mark that word as the answer. If you feel all the 4 words are correctly spelled, then you need to mark all are correct as your answer. Now let's look at some of the sample questions which are. Question number 1. The professor had never thought of the girl as anything but a brilliant young student. Right? So we have 4 bold words here. Professor, thought, anything, and brilliant. So the first word professor, the professor word is correctly spelled. The professor is someone who teaches at a university, at a college, at a senior level. Thought is the simple past tense for the word think, and this word is also correctly spelled. The word anything, now anything is a compound word. So anything is made up of 2 words. You have the word any and you also have the word thing. So it is a compound word where both the words are joined together to form a single word. You have other examples of compound words, but for example, nobody, right? Nobody. No and body combined together to form nobody. You have hyphenated words, for example, father-in-law. These are hyphenated compound words where it is a single word but separated, 3 words are separated by hyphens in the single word. Or sometimes you have words like, for example, open compound word like ice cream. Ice cream. So ice cream would be an open compound word because it's considered as one term or one word. However, if you see, there is a space in between. So anything is a closed compound word and its spelling is a right spelling. However, the word brilliant refers to someone who is exceptionally well, who's genius, who's intelligent. So someone who's very smart. The word brilliant is wrongly spelled. The correct spelling of brilliant would be B-R-I-L-L-I-A-N-T because it's pronounced as brilliant. It's pronounced as brilliant. So you need to have a I here. So of all the 4 words given in the first question, the word that is spelled wrong is the word brilliant. There is an I omitted in the spelling. Hence, the answer to the first question would be option 4. Now let's move on to the next question. People want to live in a safe, prosperous country where they enjoy freedom of thought and action. So here we have the word prosperous, then we have the word freedom, then we have the word thought and action, right? So we have 4 words here which are given in bold. Now look at the first word. The first word is prosperous. Prosperous is spelt wrong. Prosperous is the noun form of the word prosper. Now let's move on to the next question. People want to live in a safe, prosperous country where they enjoy freedom of thought and action. So if you see the bold words here, prosperous, freedom, thought and action. The word prosperous is the adjective form of the word. So you have the word prosper, which is the verb. You have the word prosperity, which is the noun form. Then you have the word prosperous, which is the adjective form. Then you have the word prosperously, which is the adverb form of the word. So if you see prosperous, there is a O missing in this particular word, right? So there is a O after the letter R. So it is prosperous, O-U-S. So prosperous is the wrong spelling. Then you have the words freedom. Freedom is the state of being free. And thought, which is a past tense of think, and action. These are the other three words which are boldened, and all these three words are spelt correctly. So the answer here is that the word prosperous is spelt wrong. Hence, 1 is the right answer for question number 2. Now let's move on to question number 3. Hitler took Germany on a path to ruin, overriding the rule of law and dispensing with elections. So here we have took, here we have the word path, here we have the word overriding, and then we have the word dispensing. So took is the past tense of take. You have the word path, which here it means a route, a way to go. Overriding. So when you override someone, you basically cancel someone or something. So if someone else is taking a decision and you have the power to override them, means that you have the power to reject their decision or cancel their decision. This is also, overriding is also an example of a compound word. A compound word where both words are put together to form a single word. And then you have the word dispensing. Dispensing means to put away, right? To reject. The saying that you don't need elections at all. Dispensing with elections means to put away the elections, right? So here, if you see all the four words are used in the right context, and all the four words have the right spelling. So for question number 3, the answer would be 5. All the words are correct. Now let's move on to question number 4. A college professor friend told me a fascinating story the other day. So here you have 4 words again: college, friend, fascinating, other. Right? So in a statement like this, it becomes difficult because you have a word fascinating where you say it as fascinating. However, while you are saying it, you are obviously missing certain letters, right? So the word fascinating is spelt in this way: F-A-S-C-I-N-A-T-I-N-G. So you have fascinating, right? So when you say fascinating, the C is silent. You are not saying fascinating. You are saying it as fascinating. That's how you pronounce the word. And because you pronounce it as such, sometimes it becomes easy to give the wrong spelling of the word. However, the right spelling is fascinating. So a college professor friend told me a fascinating story the other day. Fascinating means something exciting story, something like that. Something which is exciting, right? Fascinating. So something which grabs your attention. So the words college, friend and other, all of them are obviously spelt right. It is the word fascinating which is spelt incorrectly. Hence, The answer to question number 4 is 3. Fascinating. So now let's move on to question 5. I remember being impressed by the poise and self-assurance of the man who sat across the desk from me. So you have the words remember, impressed, poise and across. Remember, to remember something, to recall something. Impressed, the past tense of impress, which is also correctly spelt. Then you have the word poise. Poise means the way you carry yourself, the way a person carries himself or herself with grace, with balance. Then you have the word across. Across means to be, it's a preposition which says, that you are at the other side. Like for example, across the desk means or the other side of the desk. So it is a positional preposition. So here the word across is spelt incorrectly. The word across will have 2 S's in the end. So here the word across is missing 1 S. So the correct answer here would be number 4. That is the word across, which is spelt incorrectly. Now let's move on to the next question. The big man loved to have Tesla cars, so it's shocking to hear he just dropped them so quickly. So here we have the word love, then shocking, dropped, quickly. These are the 4 words which are in bold. So these are all, if you see the sentence, it's clearly in the past tense. So loved, past tense of love, shocking, quickly. These 3 words are spelled correctly. Now you have the word dropped, which is supposed to be the past tense of the word drop. So let's look at the word drop. Now drop as a word, it has a single syllable, drop. However, it ends with a consonant P and the vowel immediately before the consonant, which is preceding the consonant, has a short vowel sound. Now what do you mean by a short vowel sound? A vowel sound which is different and shorter than how that vowel actually sounds. So when you say this letter, the letter O, you pronounce it as O, right? So the sound O is the long form, the long vowel form. However, in this word, the word is drop. So the letter is O. Okay, in some other cases, the letter might be just So here the letter O is sounding like O, drop. So when you have a short vowel sound of the of a particular vowel, and then it is followed by a consonant. So for such cases, for such words, when we have to go for the past tense, we add the last letter once again. So we duplicate the last letter before adding ed. So some examples of this. For example, we have the word plan, right? Plan, single syllable ending with a consonant. This letter we pronounce it as A, right? So A is the long form sound, but the short form sound is A. We are using A. So plan, if you have to talk about the past tense, you duplicate the last letter and then you add ed. So planned. For example, the word rob. Again, in such case, the past tense would be robbed, right? So in all such cases, the last letter, the last consonant which is there is duplicated and then the word ed is added. So here clearly there is no duplication of the letter P, and that's where the error is there. So it would be dropped, D-R-O-P-P-E-D. So the answer to question 6 would be 3. Let's move on to question 7. In some emerging markets today, property rights of the rich do not enjoy widespread popular support. Now, when you are saying this out loud, you can guess that there is an error in the word property because that is not how you pronounce it. So, in this particular context, the word would be property. P-R-O-P-E-R-T-Y. So, when you say property rights, it means rights to own property, rights to own assets like land, buildings, etc. So when you're talking about property, it is in that context. Emerging markets refers to markets, which are not developed completely, but are getting there, which are in the process of becoming developed markets. Do not enjoy widespread popular support, means not many people accept it or not many people support that particular idea. So in question 7, the word which is misspelled is clearly property, which is misspelled as property. So the R and the O are just exchanged, right, with one with the other. So the correct answer here is option 2. Now let's move on to the next question, which is question number 8. While undernutrition remains a concern in many regions, overnutrition is now rapidly escalating in urban centers. So we have the first bold word, which is undernutrition. We have the second bold word, which is concern. Third, regions. And fourth, escalating. Right? So the first word, undernutrition, again, as we discussed earlier in this video, it's a compound word. It's a compound word which does not need any hyphenation. Under and nutrition are clubbed together to form a single word, and undernutrition talks about insufficient nutrition or lack of proper nutrition. The word concern means, it's an issue, it is a point, it's a pain point, it's an issue for people. Regions refers here in this case to geographical regions. While escalating, the word escalating is pronounced as escalating, right? And here you have escalating. So here there is a letter A missing. Escalating means, it is now rapidly increasing. It is now on the rise. Escalate. So you heard of the word, for example, escalator, right? Escalator is where you take moving steps to go up somewhere, or you have a downward escalator also, but primarily it's steps, and steps are used to move from one floor to another floor. It's another variation, of the word escalate. Right. So escalating is the word which should be there, and hence the right spelling would be ESCLATING. Hence the word which is misspelled is the word escalating. So the option is number 4. So for question number 8, the answer is number 4. Now let's move on to question number 9. The practice of haunting during the Sikari Utsav is often justified by its cultural significance. So here we have the word practice, haunting, justified, and significance. So while reading the sentence itself, you understand that there is an error because the word haunting is not the right word here. So Sikari Utsav is a festival, and you have certain practices or certain traditions which are there in this particular festival. So the tradition here would be hunting. So you don't call it as haunting, you call it as hunting. Hunting specifically, you hunt animals or birds, etc., depending on the hunting practice or depending on the festival which is there. Right. So Sikari Utsav, it's a festival which is primarily in some regions of Bengal, and there are also people from other states who participate in this hunting festival. So the practice of hunting during the Sikari Utsav is often justified. Means people justify it by saying that certain things, so that this is a traditional festival, this is something which has been going on for many generations, etc. By its cultural significance, by its importance. Significance is importance. So the word which is misspelled here is the word hunting, and it is misspelled as haunting. So the right answer here to question number 9 is 2, haunting, right? So this is the answer to question number 9. Now let's move on to question number 10. India's economic transformation is bolstered by global engagements and strategic partnerships. So here we have the word transformation, we have bolstered, we have engagements, and we have strategic. These are the 4 words which are in bold. Now what does strategic partnerships refer to? Strategic partnerships are the ones which are done, keeping a long-term perspective in mind. Engagements are the various areas, where India in this particular context, global engagements would be where the country participates and engages with other countries and other entities. And bolstered means strengthened or supported. So the word transformation, right, is spelled incorrectly here as transformation. So the right spelling of this word would be transformation, right? FORMATION, transformation, correct? So this transformation is talking about a significant change. Here economic transformation talks about a significant change in India's economy. So the right spelling of the word is transformation. So instead of A, this should be a O. So the correct answer for question number 10 is 1, option 1. Let's move on to question number 11. The hacker launched a malicious cyber attack, infiltrating the company's network and stealing sensitive data, which caused significant financial and reputational damage. Now we have 4 words which are bold: malicious, infiltrating, sensitive, reputational damage. So reputational damage refers to damage to one's reputation, and the word is spelled correctly. Sensitive data. Sensitive is confidential data, something which should not be given to someone who is not authorized to handle the data, and it's spelled correctly. Then you have malicious. Malicious is something intending to, something done which is with the intent to cause harm to someone or to something. So it's a malicious cyber attack. So it's a cyber attack which is intent to cause harm to those particular systems or network, etc. Now the wrongly spelt word here is infiltrating. Infiltrating is a word which does not exist in the English dictionary. The correct spelling would be infiltrating. So infiltrating is a process of infiltration. So infiltration means you are making an unauthorized entry, something which you should not be doing. You are getting an unauthorized entry into something, into a system, into a building. Basically you are spying and trying to steal certain data. So when you are infiltrating, you can infiltrate anything. You can infiltrate a network, you can infiltrate a building, you can infiltrate an organization, right? So basically you are going in, and infiltrating means you are not supposed to go to that particular place, you don't have authorization, and yet you go there. So the right answer here would be infiltrating, which is the wrongly spelt word of the 4 words in bold. So for question number 11, the answer would be 2, infiltrating, which is spelt here as infiltrating, but the right spelling is infiltrating. Now let's move on to the next one, question number 12. A team of volunteers and experts from a wide range of different backgrounds aim to empower everyone to play their part. So we have 4 words here: volunteers, experts, backgrounds, and empower. Now these 4 words are given in bold. Volunteers, people who volunteer to do a certain activity, they do it sometimes, mostly volunteers by definition don't do it for any monetary gain. They do it for the sake of doing it. They do it voluntarily. Then your backgrounds, people with different backgrounds means different areas of expertise, different situations from which they came, different experiences, different educational qualifications, etc. Basically different backgrounds talks about diversity. Aims to empower everyone. Empower everyone means give them the kind of empowerment so that they are able to do things on their own without anyone else's influence, right? So give them the power, empowerment. So the wrong word which is spelt here is experts, which is spelt here as experts. So the right spelling of this word would be experts. So experts are people who have deep skill or knowledge in a particular field. For example, if you are a professor of physics, you are expert in the area of physics, right? So the people who are in physics will have an expertise in the area of physics. People who are at the level of a chief financial officer in a large multinational organization will have an expertise in the area of finance and account. So they are experts at finance. So the option here is option 2. This is the wrongly spelt word expert. So question number 12, the answer is option 2. Now let's move on to the next question, question number 13. Although artists no longer have a guaranteed income, selling their work in the market provides them a certain level of curative freedom. So it's written as curative freedom, and then you have artists, then you have guaranteed, and you have market. These are the 4 words which are in bold. You can clearly see the word artist, guaranteed, and market. So guaranteed, although you pronounce it as guaranteed, it's the U which is silent. So this is the right spelling. There's nothing wrong in guaranteed. Artists, people who make works of art. Guaranteed, something which is promised to you, which is definitely supposed to be given to you. Market, a place where you sell goods and services. So when you're talking about artists, we are talking about creative freedom, not curative freedom. We are talking about creative freedom. Right? Creative freedom means freedom to innovate new things, create new things on your own without anyone else interfering in your work. So the word which is spelt incorrectly in number 13 is the word curative, which should actually be spelt as creative. So the answer for number 13 is 4. Now let's move on to the next one, question number 14. The harmonious realization of one's powers is a delightful end in itself. So harmonious realization once and delightful. So delightful and something which is pleasant and pleasing, right? And the word delightful is spelled correctly. Once is also used correctly. One's powers is required, is talking about powers of someone, powers of one, right? So one's powers of one person here. So one apostrophe s is used correctly. Harmonious. So harmonious and realization. Now if you know the right spellings to these words, harmonious means something which is balanced and orderly in nature. If you know the right spellings, both of them seem to be wrong, right? So the word harmonious is actually spelled Harmonious, harmonious. And the word realization, you must have seen many places this word being spelled in this way, REALIZATION. So which one was wrong? Actually, the word realization can be spelt in 2 ways, and both these ways are right. Now you may say how? Well, realization with a S is the British form of spelling. So this is how the British English uses the spelling realization with an S, and the American English. So this is the American form of the spelling. So the American English says realization with a Z. So both these spellings are correct. So the word realization is spelled correctly because we in India, we follow the British spellings. So for us, the word realization is correct. So for question number 14, the word that is spelled wrong is harmonious, and this is the correct spelling of the word harmonious. So for 14, the answer is number 1, option 1. Now let's move on to the last and final question, question number 15. A new actor had just appeared on the political scene, the industrial working class, and was threatening to be obstreperous. So a new actor had just appeared. He came up on the political scene, in the political arena, in the scene of politics, the industrial working class, and was threatening, he was trying to make an impact there, to be obstreperous. So if you look at the 4 words, 3 words will surely, you can see that these words are spelled correctly: appeared, seen, and threatening. The 4th word is obstreperous. So the right spelling of this word would be OBSTREPEROUS. O-U-S. So it would be obstreperous. It's not pronounced as obstreperous. That is how we have pronounced it in error. So the right spelling of this word would be obstreperous. So this word is coming from the Latin word obstreperous, which is talking about being noisy, being boisterous in nature, right? Obstreperous, right? So the word obstreperous is the word which means noisy and boisterous, and it is spelled in a wrong way here. So the correct answer for question number 15 is the word 4, option 4. So the right spelling is OBSTREPEROUS, and which is coming from OBSTREPERUS, which is the Latin form of the word, and this word means to be noisy, to be boisterous in nature. So we have seen 15 ways in which words can be misspelled, and these are the kinds of questions that can come in your bank, SSC and CGL exams. So thank you for watching this video. Do join and subscribe to Time for Bank Exams, which is our YouTube channel, for all your bank, SSC, CGL, insurance, railway and other related exams. You will get a lot of curated content here. You can follow us on our Telegram channel also, which is Time for Bank __ exams. YouTube channel, which is at Time for Bank Exams. All 4s are with numerical 4. Instagram, we are also there on Instagram at Time for Bank _ exams, and on Facebook Time for Bank Exams. So all these links, if you go to the description of this video, you can see all these links given in the description box. And for classroom coaching, please do contact your nearest time center. You can look at the list of the centers on our website. And for online courses, you can enroll at the following website: t4e.info/bankssconline. So thank you so much for watching this video. Do check our website www.timeforeducation.com for any queries that you have, or you can send them to info@timeforeducation.com. Thank you so much for watching.